All right, this lecture is about Alfred Wegener. He was a German scientist who proposed a hypothesis that the continents have drifted to their current positions, and that will later turn into the theory of plate tectonics, and that is how Chapter 7 ends. But this lecture is about Alfred Wegener and the story behind the theory of plate tectonics. This would be from your book, Chapter 7, Section 2. So the theory of plate tectonics is important in geology because it explains why and where earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountains occur, and it explains how Earth's crust can change and has changed in the past. Alfred Lothar Wegener was a German scientist. He was born in Berlin in 1880. He went to school and he studied physics, astronomy, and meteorology. He got his PhD in astronomy from the University of Berlin in 1905. He was the most interested in meteorology, specifically air circulation, and that is why he went on 3 expeditions to Greenland. He wanted to study the air circulation in the Arctic. So his first expedition was in 1906, right after he graduated with his PhD. His first study of air circulation in Greenland was done with balloons. He got together with his brother and they used balloons to study air circulation. He did have 3 kids and he was married, but this was later in his life. He gets married in 1916. After his first trip to Greenland, he came back and became a professor at the University of Marburg. He was a professor of meteorology. Said his students liked him because he made things more understandable. He came across a scientific paper while teaching in Marburg that listed fossils or identical fossils found both in South America and Africa, and this is what started his lifelong quest of why. And he began researching and trying to solve that question: why do you find identical fossils in South America and Africa, where they're now separated by the Atlantic Ocean? So when he was researching this issue, he noticed that there was a lot of matchness in fossils, rocks, geological structures, and glacial fossils. He returned from his second expedition to Greenland in 1912. He was drafted into the army in 1914 for World War I. He didn't last very long because he was wounded in battle, and he finished his war service as an army meteorologist. He released his first edition of a book called The Origin of Continents and Oceans in 1915. I think he goes on to revise it 5 more times. This book contains the evidence to support his hypothesis that the continents have drifted. This is also the book where the term Pangaea gets coined. Pangaea means all land. The evidence in Wegener's book included how you could find similar fossils and similar plant fossils in continents that are today separated by oceans. And to him, he said the reason you find similar fossils in these continents is because they were once together and connected. They have drifted to where they are today. He saw the same thing in geology, so he found matching rock structures in continents that are now separated by oceans. For example, the Appalachian geology matches a mountain range in Europe, and you see the same thing in rock structures in South America and Africa.